I'm Darlene and welcome to my channel, Super at 60. I am so excited today. It doesn't take a lot to excite me, but when you talk cinnamon buns, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm all over it. Yes, I want to make some cinnamon buns today, but I don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. I don't have time to spend all day in the kitchen. It is so beautiful outside here today in Virginia. It's February, end of February, but it is like a spring day. Just beautiful. In fact, the other day I went out there with a pair of scissors and cut a whole bunch of daffodils that were in full bloom. They were so beautiful. I took them to my mom and she just loved them. So anyway, back to those cinnamon buns. Yeah, we don't have all day, so we got to hurry up here. So I found out that if I do one thing, it's one secret thing, and I'm going to share it with you. You go ahead and mix up your dough any way you like, and I'm going to show you a fantastic, easy cinnamon roll dough today. Bakery style, delicious, fluffy, soft, wonderful cinnamon buns. But I'm just getting started right now, and my oven is already preheated. It is preheated to 150. I believe I preheated it at 150. I'm going to let it preheat. When the buzzer goes off, and I think it already did, I need to go over there and turn it off because I want it off. We're going to make, essentially we're going to turn our ovens into a professional proofing box, okay? This is what is going to help us get to not only quick cinnamon buns, but one rise. We're only going to do one rise, 1 hour cinnamon buns coming to you right now, so stay tuned. All right, first things first, I'm just going to start out with a cup of milk. Let's see if I got that right. Yep, 1 cup of milk, there you go. 1/4 cup of butter, just a half a stick. It can be cold because this is going to go into the microwave. It doesn't have to be warm. Now when we make the filling, that's when you're going to need some warm butter, or softened butter I should say. All right, put that in there. And there we go. All right, I'm going to stick this in the microwave for about, oh, I don't know, a minute, 20 seconds, something like that, and then we'll get started. Okay, the milk just came out of the microwave. Actually, I just put it in for about 1 minute. It's a little warm. You would not want to add your yeast to it right now, so I'm just going to give it a quick stir because not all the butter was completely melted, but it is now. That's all you need to do. 1 minute in the microwave, and I'm just going to set it aside. We'll go ahead and work on our dry ingredients, and then the milk should be perfect. You don't want it cooled down. It still needs to be warm for that yeast, but just keep an eye on it. You know, it's so easy. Right now, it's just almost the perfect temperature, so when we're ready for it, it'll be ready. Let's go ahead and add in our flour. And you know what, like I always do, I always have the recipe below for you, so don't worry at all about that. I'm going to start with 2 cups of flour, and I'm using a combination of all-purpose and bread flour today, but you can use all-purpose flour if that's all you want, and you can use all bread flour too if that's all you want to use as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put in my yeast. All right, I want a 1/4 cup of sugar, put that in, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just sprinkle that all around in there. And that's really it for your dry. All right, my milk and butter mixture is perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it right into the dry ingredients, and I also need to add an egg. Now when I'm making something of this nature, a batter of some kind, when I'm working with an egg, just give it a quick mix first. Now I'm giving you some really easy tips today, but just in case someone's watching who's maybe never made cinnamon buns before, these are just some tips that will help you along the way make a better, more delicious product. And it makes it easier on you in the end. All right, there we go. All right, it looks pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna take it over to the mixer, just gently, just let it go round and round. All right, I'm gonna add it in the rest of the flour. So there we go. Just till it gets to that beautiful, beautiful sticky stage. You don't want it overly sticky, but you don't want to overdo. The more flour you add to cinnamon buns, the tougher they're going to be. I promise you, that is another secret to making a really good cinnamon bun. Let's go ahead and put this in. Now that's 2 cups. We started with 2 already. And it's anywhere from 2 to 3. So this should be it. All right, it is looking real good right now. And what I'm gonna do is just take off all the dough off the hook here, or the paddle, and I am gonna stick my dough hook in because now I have to knead it. Now it has to knead. This is another very, very important process, particularly when you're gonna make them, when you're gonna have a one rise. You wanna make sure that they are kneaded really, really well. I love the feel of this dough. Oh, it's just perfect. You know, sometimes you just know it. Sometimes it's a smell, sometimes it's a feel, sometimes it's a look. But when you're in the kitchen enough, you just kind of get to know these things. All right, there we go. Let's shift the kneading hook in. And there we go. Probably, another five minutes just to let it knead. If it gets a little soupy, you know, I'll add a little bit more flour to it, but it looks really good right now. All right, I want to give you just a couple tips on cinnamon buns because this is important. Some people have questions, have always asked me questions about this and that and whatever, so I'll try to answer some of them that I can remember. Why do my cinnamon buns not come out fluffy and soft? Well, here's the answer to that. You either under added flour, and they were too sticky, or you over added flour that were just too tough. And that's kind of the way it is with bread as well. If you over add flour, your loaf of bread is going to be dense. It's not going to be light and fluffy and airy. It's just not. Too much flour is not good. Another question is, after I roll them out and I put them in the pan and they rise, why do some buns rise higher than other buns? Well, the single reason for that is that you rolled them out too thin. Yeah, you don't want to roll them too thin. Generally, a recipe will give you an idea of roll your dough out between 12 inches by 14 inches, something like that, or 10 by 8 if it's a smaller batch. Take note of that when you're listening and working with a recipe. Today, for instance, I'm supposed to roll these out to 12 by 14. Now, if you want to get a ruler out, you can do that. A lot of people do actually do that. But for me, I just kind of eye it, you know, and it works every time. Don't get them so thin. It's just not going to work. You want them a little bit thicker, maybe a quarter of an inch thick, the dough, or maybe somewhere between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch thick. Yeah. So don't go too thin, or you might have lumpy, bumpy risen rolls. And then when you put them in the oven, they bake oddly. And sometimes you'll get some that spring up like this and some that are way down like that. And they're fun, they're cute, and they're good. They just look funky. All right, the dough is all done, and it is beautiful. Can you see that? It's just pulled all the way around from the sides. It is gorgeous. It is silky and soft. I added just the right amount of flour, apparently, for this kind of day, too. And I have my back door open and everything, so just look at that dough. It's beautiful, absolutely lovely. It's moist and supple. I mean, you can just play with it all day long. This is why I love dough. This is why I love dough. It's so beautiful. All right, let's get it down on the counter. Let's get it rolled out because it doesn't need a first rise. Nope, we're gonna go right to the rolling out process. When your dough comes off the dough hook, just put it on the counter in a nice little ball and just let it sit there for about 5-10 minutes. You don't even have to cover it. If you want to throw a towel over it, you're welcome to, but you don't even have to. This gives that flour enough time to absorb all the water and that melted butter and all the ingredients, the liquid from the egg. It gives that flour all that time to help absorb all that stuff, and it's going to just roll out so much better for you if you just let it rest. All right, now I'm going to put the filling together for us real quickly. Right here, I have 1 stick of softened butters. Here's my little, my little sugar bears. Honest to goodness, guys, I have had these for about 30 years. I am not even kidding you. I dumped them once in water, dried them, put them in my brown sugar, and I've never done it again. But I've never had clumps or dryness in my brown sugar. So if you want a brown sugar bear, a set of these two, they're still on Amazon. Yeah, in fact, they're in my kitchen Amazon link down below if you're interested in the little brown sugar savers. They really do. Okay, so 1 cup of packed brown sugar. As much cinnamon as you like, I guess, but let's go for about 1 3/4 teaspoon. I love cinnamon. I don't think you can overdo it on the cinnamon. That's just me. I just love cinnamon. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a really good mix up here. Now, do not roll your dough too tight, okay? That was one of the reasons why they come out a little lumpy bumpy. I don't know, there could be other reasons too, who knows? You know, sometimes it's just crazy. Baking is a true science, it really is. Now roll them out a little bit with your hands, you know, if they get a little squishy in the middle, kind of even them out. Roll off, brush off any excess flour that's on them, because we don't need that or want that. Okay, I'm going to turn this around so you can see me finish it off. I'm still brushing more flour off, but you want to make sure you start with enough flour. Then just take the ends, flip them over, and give them a pinch. Sometimes they'll pinch and sometimes they won't. You know, they'll stay, and sometimes they won't. These are looking pretty good. Don't be afraid to, you're not going to hurt it. You're not going to hurt it, okay? So there we go. We have our beautiful cinnamon roll log, if you will. Give it a good pinch, just like that. I like to turn my ends in like that a little bit, just so they're not so uneven. I'm funny about my cinnamon rolls. I like them just right. All right, just flip them over, just like that. And again, squeeze them so that they're all about even. Nice even log. Just like that. Brush off any additional flour. Get yourself a sharp knife, or you can also use the thread. That works really nicely. All right, I have 2 really nice greased, I think they're about an 8-inch cake pan. Yeah, let's see if we can squish these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 over here. Let's see if we can get them just right. Turn them over this way. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think that is so pretty. Okay, here's our proof box, and it's nice and just right in there. It's not too hot. In fact, it's not hot at all. It's just got, you can see I can even touch the bars here without a mitt or anything. And I'm going to put a towel over them so that'll dry out. Put them back in. I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. The rolls are rising beautifully in the oven, just like I knew they would. They look beautiful. Nice and puffy. Let's go ahead and make the frosting. We need a delicious frosting to top our fantastic 1 hour, 1 rise, bakery style, super fluffy, super cinnamony, extraordinarily delicious cinnamon buns. I'm just putting together a really beautiful kind of buttery frosting for the top of our cinnamon buns. They're out of the oven and they look beautiful. I'll show you. And my oven is preheating 350 right now. In my bowl here, all I have is 1½ cups of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a ½ teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I did have to add, to get it the consistency that I like it, which is like that, where it swirls back down on itself like that. It took about another ½ cup, I guess, of the confectionery sugar. Well, from now on, you can see there is no reason whatsoever to spend all day in your kitchen making cinnamon buns. You don't need 2 rises. You need 1 rise. You need 1 hour, and you will have the absolute perfect 1 hour, 1 rise, bakery style, even better than bakery style. These are specialty cinnamon buns. You'll pay big bucks for these kind of buns. They are that good. If you know somebody who loves cinnamon buns and they might like to have a great recipe for 1 hour, 1 rise cinnamon buns, share it. I would love for you to share my videos. I would be so happy. And if you're coming by for the first time and you enjoyed today's video, please press the subscribe button. Love to have you here. Give me a thumbs up. Everybody, if you enjoyed today's recipe, give me a thumbs up. That would be just wonderful. And like always, it has been a pleasure having you in my home, in my kitchen. I'll see you soon with another super great homemade recipe right here at Super at 60. Bye now, and Lord bless.